to know a little bit more about what the review is at Makers. So I'm going to give you a quick intro to what it is, where you can find information about it, and then I'm going to jump into a session with a reviewer. Afterwards, I'm going to wrap up by pointing you towards some real student examples. So, what is the review? At its simplest, it's a resource, and you can use it to help you improve how you program. It helps you by giving you access to high quality feedback about the way that you program from experts so you can identify what to improve. It also can help by giving you time to practice taking requirements and implementing a solution under observation, something that will likely happen during a job application. Remember, you're going to be in complete control when and how you use it. A few devs haven't taken advantage of it, the vast majority have done one or two, and a few have done 8 or more. We see a correlation between the more that you do them, the more practice you get, the more confident and competent that you feel writing code. So if you're looking at this video, you'll likely see the reviews as a service documentation. And the way that you can find this is on the student Slack if you go to the reviews channel. So just wherever you are, go to reviews. And in the topic is where you can see the Google Doc. So once you click on the Google Doc, it brings you to this document. Now this is pretty much where we've kept everything that's student facing in terms of the information about the reviews. Remember, it's a resource and it's a tool for you to use. The most important thing that we do here is to help train you and help you get a job. So it's definitely worth a read through this. This tracks changes that we made over the past couple of years to when we first started this idea of how to help train your process and give you more tools to think about the way that you're doing things. At the bottom is some of the history behind it and how we've come over the number of years and how we've got to where we are. So I'm not going to explain a lot because most of the information is here. There's a bunch of questions if you're interested specifically about how it works. In summary, it's an hour-long remote session that we do over Zoom, where the reviewer role plays a product owner. The things that the review will give you really good information about is how you're converting sort of fuzzy requirements into technical requirements, writing tests, writing clean code, and then when things go wrong, just your normal debugging technique under observation. And lastly, how do you deliver value to the customer in the most agile way? So you'll receive feedback via Slack, and this will give you detailed feedback about the way that you approach the problem. And the idea is that you take the information, you have a look, identify some things you want to improve, and then keep doing reviews until you feel like you've achieved your objective. So that's going to be the summary that I have for you. The rest of the information you can have a look here, and definitely feel free to reach out to the educational coaching team on Slack if you have questions about it. Cool. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate how do you book a review, and jumping into a session with one. So in order to book one, you can just use the link that's in this document, and it's an external calendar. So let's just go to this link and have a look at the information that it says. Book your review. Are you still waiting for your feedback? If so, just wait before booking your next one. Cool, so I'm just going to book one. And let's try this slot. And my name. And you remember that you can look up your universal unique identifier by using the Airtable link in this text here. And the password is the same as the Makers Academy Wi-Fi. So let's have a quick look at this. Cool. So then you just try to find your name. So let's pretend I'm in here. I think I actually added myself in here. Cool. So take the ID and add it. Cool. Any email address that you want the confirmation email sent to. And I've done none before. And I would prefer the reviewer turn the camera on so I can see them. I know what it is, I'm ready for one, so let's go ahead and confirm the booking. Nice, cool. All booked for Thursday at 2 p.m. So this should be added to your calendar. If not, just make sure that you save this link and download and install Zoom so you're ready to go. But most likely you have that done already. Cool, so this ends this stage of this video, and the next stage I'm going to jump into a review session. My first one, and I'm going to go to the calendar event and use the Zoom link in the calendar event to start my Zoom session. So this brings me to the Zoom app. That asks me whether I want to open it. I'm going to open it in my Zoom app, and I'm going to wait for the host to let me in. Awesome, I'm being let in. So here I'm going to connect, and I'm going to connect with my audio, and away we go.
Hi there, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you, Catherine.
You might just need to unmute your microphone.
That's correct. That's correct. Awesome. Okay.
Super. Okay, welcome. Is today your first review?
Yes, today is my first review.
Okay, and how are you feeling about it?
It's my first one, so I don't really know what to expect. Could you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So what's going to happen is I will role play as a client, and I will have a prototype for you to develop. Because I'm role playing as the client, I won't be super technical, so you won't get much coaching support from me along the way, but I won't be entirely non-technical either, so sort of somewhere in the middle, like a product owner at a large corporate. So I'll give you an opening statement, and then you'll have to ask me some questions to figure out enough information for you to actually make the prototype do what the client wants it to do. Okay. You're welcome to use Google and past projects and docs, anything you like, basically, to help you out. So I'll be recording this session and taking notes. Something to note is please don't let the typing bother you. So this is what it sounds like. And I'm not necessarily commenting on the if statement you're writing at that moment. I'm not saying, oh, don't write that if statement. I write good things about your process as well as things to improve on, and I might be writing about something you did 5 minutes ago. So please don't let that typing bother you. From an observation point of view, I'll be assessing your process against the course goals. So that means taking the shortest possible path to delivering value to me, the user. I'll be looking at which problems you prioritize, what you leave for later, and then all this feedback will come back to you along with the video, hopefully today, but most probably within 48 hours. Do you have any questions for me?
Got it. Okay, so in terms of like what I'm actually doing, like are we going to be pairing, or are you just going to be observing me like in silence? Like should I be like talking out loud my thoughts, for example?
So I will mostly just be really quiet in the background, and so if you get really stuck, I might give you a poke by asking you a question, which might then help you out. But mostly I'll just be quiet in the background, and then you can use Google to help you along if you need it.
Got it. That makes sense. Okay, so well, if I get stuck, like, and I don't know what to do next, and what should I do? Should I ask you questions? What happens?
So it's really not a train smash if you get stuck. These reviews are there to help you.
Yeah.
And so basically, we'll see how far you can get on your own
Yeah.
into the session, and then if you really can't get any further, even with me asking you a sort of a prompt question, then we'll probably stop the session and then have a discussion at the end of how you can work on your process.
Got it. Cool. So
that it'll be better next time.
That makes sense. The last question I have is like, okay, so how do we begin?
Cool. So to start, you'll share your screen with me.
Yeah.
And there's a green share screen button on the Zoom bar.
Yeah.
And then once you've shared your screen with me, if you could open a README or a notepad or something, just to take notes in during the information gathering session, so that I can also see it. Super. Are you ready for the opening statement?
Yes. Let's begin.
Okay, super. So I work for a school reports company, and we help teachers to find out how their students did on tests. So we get a string of comma-separated values with these test results from the schools, and we'd just like you to build a simple report on top of that.
Cool. So to wrap up, I then ask questions to clarify what the requirements are and convert them into technical requirements, which I would then codify in a test, and then start building the simplest version first. That would last about 50 minutes, and then I would get some feedback then and there from the reviewer, and then afterwards be sent a more detailed written up feedback. Remember, it's not a summative assessment tool, so the feedback that you get, it doesn't give you a grade or a pass or a fail. It's not an assessment in the traditional sense. It's all for you. This is your resource as you want to use and see fit. And we call that a formative assessment, the point of which is just to give you the power and the tools to figure out what you need to do to improve. Use it as much as you want. And any questions, let me or the coaching team know. And this has been a video about what the review is. See the post in Slack for some examples of students doing reviews, so you can have a look at some real-life examples of reviews with our review team. Thanks for watching.